This video is sponsored by Grow Therapy. This was a few drafts away from touching body hard territory. Not necessarily the substance, but this could have started the conversation that the substance opened years before that picture was brought into fruition. You know, I'd hate to single anybody out, but all I'll say for now is there are specific communities, specific groups of people that will understand this movie better than others. I am going to give you the best rundown of this film and explain why it is not a cult classic, but it is a cunt classic. So I encourage you to open your mind and take a walk with me. Catwoman is a 2004 superhero film tragically written by these three men who failed the assignment and directed by a Frenchman named Pitoff, who, one, I am dying to know how he got this job, and two, the man only has 3 films in his filmography. I mean, after this, it kind of makes sense, but we ain't gonna go there. This video is not gonna be bashing the filmmakers. On a $100 million budget, the film grossed $82 million at the box office. Rigged. The film stars Halle Berry, Benjamin Pratt, Sharon Stone, Lambert Wilson, Alex Bornstein, and Frances Conroy. I suppose I should talk about the elephant in the room. Are you having a little bit of deja vu? Yes, my friends, this is the first remaster I am ever doing of a past video I've made. It's no longer on YouTube and instead accessible through my Patreon. Link in the description, more on the Patreon at the end. You're probably scratching your head like, bro, why are you remaking a video? And then out of all the videos to remake, you choose this movie. And my answer is because I didn't do it justice. Okay, I did not. But not only that, we hit 100,000 subscribers. I still gotta figure out where the hell I'm gonna put that plaque at. I don't know if maybe I'll have to move some stuff on my wall. I don't know. But oh my God, thank you guys for the constant love, for the constant support, the following on other platforms, the private messaging me to tell me how much you love the channel and what I'm doing. And I don't know what to say here without sounding like an idiot, but this is incredible. I think we're about 1.5 years into this journey. I began this channel in October 2024, and the 6th of October was when I posted my first ever video, which was, take a guess, Catwoman. I wanted to come swinging out the gate to let the churro know that I have taste. This is a childhood classic, and I wanted to redo this because the style and the structures of my video have changed, and I think that I'm so sorry. Patience Phillips deserves this. But also, I kind of want to do this reflection and just show how much my editing style has changed, and you know, my take is going to be longer this time around because I have more opinions on it. And I felt like I didn't really elaborate my personal feelings. I was more so focused on the reception and explaining what camp was and all that. I almost titled this video In Defense of Catwoman, which could have paired well with this older video I did on a film called The Neon Demon. I thought maybe titling this similar to that could be the start of some type of series, you know, movies that were frowned upon or that people ignored that I want to defend, always starting with In Defense of blah blah blah. Kind of the same way I'm thinking of turning the video I did on The Cat in the Hat, which is my second video ever made and the one that really blew up, still my most popular to date, paired with my Mommy Dearest video. And the whole thing was you know, films that aren't marketed as horror but have horrifying elements. Enough exposition dumping though, let's get into this. Grab the hottest leather piece out your closet, if you own a whip, even better, and take a bike ride with me as we visit the city that the writers couldn't bother to name and hit up the Hader headquarters, because I was sent this cream. Apparently it's supposed to make you look youthful, reverse the aging process, but I also heard it turns you into a monster. Who else is scared? Before we get into this week's film, allow me to tell you about today's sponsor, Grow Therapy. If you are a regular here on the channel, you guys know how serious I take mental health. It's literally my sign off. Take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your spirit. And what is a fabulous way to do that? By getting your butt in therapy. Grow works with 125 plus insurance plans, yes, with sessions averaging around $21, with some people even paying as little as $0, depending on the type of plan they have. You can filter therapists by their identity, by their gender, by their language, by their faith. It is very customizable. You've even got the option to pick virtual or in-person appointments. These guys have over 25,000 licensed professionals. Therapy for everyone. I think above all these few things I mentioned, the thing I love the most about these guys is that it is a pay per session. You are not locked into a subscription. You are not locked into a commitment. And we know with this economy in the world right now, everybody wants to, clink, clink, lock you down. Every company these days want to pull the old okey doke, but Grow Therapy does not do that. So you kind of have no reason not to try it out. I'm just saying. I will always champion this. No one is ever too good for therapy. I promise you that we can all get something out of this. To learn more about Grow Therapy, click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen for a faster way to get support and find a therapist. Thanks again, Grow, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to breaking down this film.
Sorry, I think maybe I'm in the wrong...
The film opens very fittingly on this Egyptian-styled music with crossfades of hieroglyphics. I love the title card. It looks expensive. Don't ask me to elaborate on that. We're shown multiple art pieces of different Catwomen over time, how they were called witches, devils, cultish. God forbid a woman have some power and some puss and, all of a sudden they're evil. We meet our main character, Patience Phillips, floating in the water, dead, telling us this journey started on the day she died. If there had been an obituary, it probably would have said, the unremarkable life of an unremarkable woman, survived by no one. But there was no obituary, homies, because the day this diva died was also the day she started to live. Come on, poetry. Again, it's so crazy to me that there were 3 writers on this joint and they couldn't even bother to name the city that this film takes place in. We're not in Gotham City. It's not New York. If I can try to guess on why they did this, maybe they were going for ambiguity because, this can take place in any point in time. There are flip phones and 2003 cell phones. So no, I'm not. No, I'm not accepting that. By the way, they shot this movie in British Columbia, Canada. We get a sweeping shot of the city and see a taste of Patience's life. This girl's bumping into everybody she crosses paths with, very clumsy, nervous soul, and this was her day-to-day life. Now, her passion, her dream job is to be an artist, and let's just say that this is a practical version of her passion. She works at this headquarters of Hudair Beauty as one of the top designers for this ad on this new beauty cream coming up. We meet best friend Sally, who's quite obsessed with this mysterious beauty cream that Sal refers to as magic in a bottle. And what's crazy is the damn cream isn't on the shelves, yet she copped a jar. But again, you know who did cop one? Me. Now here's the thing, this is the first sign that something isn't right with Sally because she talks about these headaches that she's been getting that make her brain feel tight. We meet George Hudair, the CEO of this company, and he's kind of hot, not gonna lie. I don't carry a age hang up. Sue me. Lambert Wilson is also a bisexual man, so there's that. Somebody slide in my digits. I'll put this caramel on him. George of the Jungle lets his team know in 1 week precisely they'll launch the most revolutionary product to hit the beauty industry since soap, Bioline. So what's the selling point here? Bioline doesn't only hide the effects of aging, but it reverses them. However, with change comes sacrifice. He's about to continue talking, but George's wife, his right-hand woman Laurel, stands up cutting him off, saying, "My husband and I have decided it's time for me to step aside as the face of Hudair." Laurel has been the face of Hudair Beauty for the last 15 years, but we know how the industry treats women in aging. So enter Drina, who has maybe 1 or 2 lines of dialogue in the entire film, but she is a character present, so nevertheless. George hopes to see everybody at the gala so they can drink to Drina and the company's success.
Careful, George. She's not old enough to drink.
It's a goddamn shame, ain't it? Patience has her first lead ad campaign, and we see Sal walk her down to George's office, who summoned for her. And almost immediately, we can hear this white man screaming at Laurel, who is mad because she interrupted him during the company meeting. Oh, please, get out your feelings. When Patience walks in his office, oh my God, like we just see how much money these hoes got. This is a two-bedroom apartment. George has his panties and quite the twist, folks. You know, he's upset that the shade of red he requested isn't DACA. Suck my left titty. Is it ever that serious? He's such an a-hole, you know, talking over her every time she's trying to explain what she told him, and he's, I know what I get. And you know what? He's not hot to me anymore. Sitting up here talking about, I don't reward incompetence. I've no idea why I expected your art to show better taste than your wardrobe.
Bitch, let me tell you something.
I don't know if I want to take it there, but would he be this aggressive if Patience was a white woman? Maybe I'm too woke, guys. I don't know. Laurel turns around, sticking up for the colored girl, saying, oh, let her fix it, George. She's good and you know it. So he allows it, but it must be done by midnight. This is the only interaction that Patience and Laurel have outside of Laurel and Catwoman. But there's a brief deleted scene where Patience is in the ladies' room trying to collect her nerves when Laurel comes and telling Mama, I think you look fabulous. Don't let Mr. Erectile Dysfunction get to you.
I thought I knew what you wanted. Don't feel bad, honey. So did I.
Hey yo, there's a rock party going on. They're blasting this music with the windows open. This is ignorant. Then we sweep through Patience's loft, which I love. You know, although she deals with verbal abuse, they're paying her well, especially for a place of this size. And well, I was about to say New York, but it's not. We don't know where they're at. So this, I don't know. I feel like for 2003 standards, this is, well, you know, because it's the further you go back, the more it. The further you go back, the cheaper living was and the more space you could have got. So what the fuck do I know, right? It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning too. Baby, call the cops. This is above me. She goes to the window trying to ask if they could turn the music down, but she's ignored. And when she looks down in the alley, there's a cat sitting on top of a bike. This is midnight. Remember her. Before work, Patience plays around with crimson reds, trying to see what fits when Midnight shows up at her window. She is so cute. There is a part of me that still wants a cat. My current roommate has a dog, and I think he said that he was allergic to them. Otherwise, I would probably have one. But yeah, I want a black cat. I don't know. I think they're adorable. I like how they're independent. They're very mystical. The lore surrounding them in the past and them being protectors in Egypt. And I don't know. There's a lot of respect for cats. When Patience goes to the window to greet her new friend, this motherfucker is gone, chilling over top the ledge. So now homegirl's tripping because how the hell did you get up there? If you don't just talk to Midnight like you're a black parent, get your ass down. Everybody knows how cats are. If they can get up, I bet you they can get down. You crazy as hell. I would have left that window open. Yup, and I would have been like, okay, well you come in when you ready. Shoot, I'm going back to my painting. This whole scene is very on the nose. There's this phrase called save the cat, which is the go-to structural template for screenwriting designed to ensure a story hits specific emotional and narrative beats. It can also be applied to books, but it's mainly for screen. And this was kind of my first time correlating that to this scene, or kind of like noticing it. Patience does climb out onto that ledge to try and save this damn cat. Look at her, no shoes, holding on to the ledge. Where did this courage come from? That's my question. See, that's what I'm talking about. Our next character we meet is Detective Tom Lone, Benjamin Pratt's fine ass. He thinks he's witnessing a woman about to commit suicide, so he hops out the car like, ho, 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 ho. Wait, shawty. No, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy. Pulling out his badge saying, I'm a cop. Maybe I can help. Yeah, because when was the last time a cop helped somebody? Mentally, that is. The AC box can't hold Patience's 20-pound body much longer, so she tells Tom, apartment 23! And in a matter of seconds, he charges through that building, kicking her door down in the nick of time. Halle Berry's scream in this movie gets me every time. There's another one that comes in the third act. Yeah, If you know, you know. We'll get there. Funniest moment in the entire film. She is definitely gagged that he scooped her dainty ass up with one arm. How much you benching, Benji? Lifting them 20 pounds up like that. Oh yeah, Midnight's already there, running around her apartment. When Patience checks her watch, let the panic begin because Adiva's late for work. She's on a deadline. Patience grabs her pocketbook, keys, and jacket, pushing him out the apartment and running, but drops her wallet. This entire scene with her trying to rescue Midnight was supposed to be the original opening for the film, because if you pay attention, there is a continuity error. After we open on her in the water with the voiceover, we see her rushing frantically to her job. Well, she was going up to her job, rushing and all, excuse me, because she was late and she had to turn in this assignment. So it's like they plucked that scene and placed it somewhere else. It's a mess, because as a result of that, she is wearing the same outfit that she was when the film first opened, and all the extras have the same outfits on. It makes it seem like everybody wore the same thing 2 days in a row. Laurel has entered the headquarters with this fly ass outfit. Come on, bitch. Are you kidding me? Get into this long coat, the mocha knee-high heels, the Birkin bag.
Oh, she's taking it.
They are not wasting time with this model transition. Drina's pictures are already starting to take over Laurel's, and George appears, practically insulting her that no one can defeat Father Time. Though you did put up a hell of a fight, didn't you? He taps his finger on her cheek saying, Bioline works wonders, doesn't it? Telling his wife he has a busy day, drinks, then dinner, so don't wait up, darling. He hits the brakes, bringing up a lunch they planned for the next day, telling her to cancel it. When Laurel asks if there's a problem, Georgie mentions a man named Slavicki who won't stop calling. You know how those scientists are.
They're worse than models. You have to cuddle them all the time like little children.
Oh, that's not. More movers come taking down all of Laurel's old pictures. Po baby, this is really the substance. The sassy mixed gay friend of the film is Lance, who peeks his head out telling Patience there's a man sandwich at 12 o'clock. We know who it is. Daddy Tom. Lance is staring him down with his big ass smile. Patience introduces Sally, and my god, this girl is embarrassing herself, saying, oh my god, Tom Lone is such a good name. Rhymes with cone, phone, bone, girl. Then she's like, oh, excuse me, I'll just be over my cubicle alone. Tom pulls out Miss Phillips' wallet, taking a peek at her sketchbook, gassing her up, pulling out references to early Chagall. Oh, so he's cultured, calling it elegant but whimsical, very much in the tradition of the old Dutch masters. But then he f***s it up, saying that he Googled all the art that she had hung up in her apartment. Right. But you know what? He's open and honest. We like that. Tom formally apologizes about this morning for thinking she was a jumper. Jumper is crazy. And wants to make it up by taking her out to get some coffee. He knows this Italian joint around the corner called Gracio's. Look at mama, she can't hide her blushing. Sally clears her throat, telling Bestie, all you gotta do is say yes. And they agree on the next day around 1 p.m. Tom tells Sally he's counting on her to make sure Patience gets there, and Sal's freaky ass says, if I screw it up, you can throw away the key. I love Sally. I don't care what anybody says. So now our lead woman's tripping balls, bro, because this hot detective asked her out. They gonna have mixed kids. Sal gets right down to business because they've got work to do. You know, you need to shave your legs. You got to wear that hot leather outfit that me and Lance bought you for your birthday. Patience says, first of all, it's only coffee. And second, I will never, ever wear that leather outfit. Yeah, we'll see about that. We get this cool shot showing the passage of time, and what's so impressive about it is not only is the camera moving at a steady pace, circling while everybody in the office is like going in high speed, but we see Patience moving in normal time with the camera. It's really cool. She gets on the phone announcing herself in the art department, saying she's expecting a messenger to come pick up her project, getting upset because it's got to be there by midnight, but nobody can come, so that means our protagonist has to deliver it herself. We travel across this bridge into the Hader laboratory, and in the parking lot, we briefly pass a man named Armando, one of the top security guards for the company. Patience rolls up in her Jeep Cherokee, I think that is. But the lab's front doors are locked and nobody's answering on the intercom, so she finds a back way. Deep inside the building, Laurel's looking at this massive screen with a man named Dr. Ivan Slavicki, who's their top scientist in developing this cream. He's showing Laurel on this massive screen the side effects of using this cream when you abruptly stop. And let's just say this model, her fucking skin skin started decaying. Laurel's evil ass, I cannot with her. She's like, oh, come on. When did you grow a conscience? Slavicki doesn't care that the FDA glanced over the headaches and the nausea and the fainting spells, because those are symptoms that he can live with. Another top security guard who we will see alongside Armando is Wesley. Patience enters through a back way of the laboratory, and damn, if this truly was some, you know, late night top secret stuff going on, why is nobody making sure that every single door is locked? Slavicki understands what the company stands to make from consumers demanding their products, and he can live with it being addictive, but the side effects from long-term studies are bananas. And Laurel says that won't happen if they keep using it, and we'll make sure they do, because that's where all the money comes from. I'm not joking. The line was delivered exactly like that, and not only that, it was off screen, so you know that it was added in post-production. If it's not obvious, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I love conspiracy theories. No, I am not the type who believes in all of them, and no, I also do not knock people who don't believe in them. I know quite a lot of people who walk through life with the philosophy of, if I can't see it, I don't believe it. Again, if that is you, fair. I can understand that POV. For me though, I guess I just view the world through a certain lens. I observe a lot, I dissect a lot, and it's a feeling. I like to explore concepts and theories that people bring up, and you know, like, it's kind of like pulling the curtain back a little bit from the Matrix, because I've definitely said this before, and this is some real shit. That 1% behind them doors that we don't even know what they look like, the ultra rich, they thrive on the mass population being ignorant. They want to keep us in line, spend all of our time slaving away, working just to pay bills, struggle, pay these taxes, and don't question anything. You know, there have been films made about this. They Live is the first one that comes to mind. That's an awesome movie.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Patience is calling out hello, walking around this factory by herself. Man, I would have took my black ass home. She does find the room these three cats are in, and we hear Slavicki say,
I can't live with turning people into monsters.
Oh my gosh.
You've got to let me pull a plug.
my girl cannot believe her eyes, seeing the effects on screen, but then...
Who's there?
Oh shit, here we go. They tell Armando to lock in, who catches Patience perfectly on time as she goes out a side door, and homie's reaching for that gun. Bitch, you better run. I love the energy of the soundtrack all through the scene. It's so good. Wesley's now with his partner, and they can see Patience's shadow hiding. Wes says, it's all right. You can come out now, queen. We just want to ask some questions, like, what's your favorite color? Patience has her hands up as if these guys are the police. Don't shoot! Apologizing that she might be in the wrong room.
I think maybe I'm in the wrong.
She takes off, entering this room with all these pipes. Armando's blasting at her. She enters this final room having nowhere else to go, and she is about to enter the waste treatment. Anything for survival, I guess. Slipping and sliding, she climbs all the way into the pipes as Wesley tells Laurel the suspect ran in the pipes and they lost her. They don't know who she is, but they know what she heard. And Laurel says, we can't risk it. Get rid of her. Armando seals the door as the siren blares and the machines cut on. Wow, like y'all didn't even hear my girl out. Y'all didn't give her, they could have gave her a payout to keep her mouth shut. She was not given the option to be silent, and instead, finish the sentence. Yeah, she was silenced. A gust of wind almost blows her skinny ass away. She's running around these pipes, unable to find an exit, tripping and falling, running straight to the edge of the pipe, almost plummeting off the edge. And then we get this gorgeously tragic shot of water spitting out the pipes, sending our protagonist flying into the waves of water. This diva flows around this dirty water with leaves, very gracefully, might I add. Come on, music video. Midnight the Protector is right there to witness all of this, sending a cunty telegram for all the pussycats to come out. Patience's body floats through the water, washing ashore, before a coven of cats surround her body in a circle to fuel this ritual, to fuel the energy transfer. Midnight climbs over top our protagonist as the epic and operatic music peaks, opening her mouth and giving Patience the breath of life. And just like magic, my friends, Patience comes back to life. All the cats are gone and she's coughing, trying to figure out what's going on. Definitely having her Spider-Man moment, I'll say that. She can hear and see these seagulls coming in slow motion. Every sound is enhanced, every insect. The cat senses are on. She travels through these alleyways, jumps 50 feet up to her apartment like it's nothing, and catches a glimpse of what these animals have done to her. Not the cat animals, but the system, the people. So she punches the window in anger as we sweep to the night sky.
Sorry's not nearly enough.
Then let me try the remix.
The next morning, my girl is showered, the hair is on, but after panning out, we see Patience fell asleep as a cat would, on top of these installed cabinets. The phone goes ping ping, waking her up, and she drops to the ground. That's when we hear Sally on her answering machine saying, "These motherfucking kids in my neighborhood yelling out my damn window, shut that shit up! I've never been so proud of you, boo. I know you probably sipping a 400-degree decaf soy, extra skinny latte with a quarter pump of mocha, fantasizing about licking the foam off of Tom Lone's lips." Oh wait, that's what I'm doing. Anyway, how did the presentation go? Did you get any free samples of it? Girl, stop playing with me and call me back. ASAP, no Rocky. Patience is confusion, looking at her shattered window and dirty clothes like what the helly? As for Tom, he is in fact sitting at Gracio's past 1 p.m. waiting on his caramel queen, but she's not there, so he leaves her a voice message. "Hey Patience, I don't know where you are, probably in bed playing with that kitty when it could have been me playing with it instead. But anyway, I gotta get back to work, sit at my desk and act like I'm doing something, so I'ma roll out. Holla." Midnight's sneaky ass comes out of nowhere because she's always listening. Never forget, Midnight always watches. Midnight always listens. Patience scoops her up, checking the color, finding the name of a woman named Ophelia Powers. "Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood." Not this woman lives on Elm Street. Patience, you better make sure you don't take a nap in her crib. We meet Ophelia Powers, who says Midnight's never brought a stranger home, before telling Patience, "Do come in." And because our protagonist is a pushover, she does exactly that, even though she's late for work. Baby, nobody forced you to come in that house. I would have dropped Midnight off at that house like I was dropping my child off at daycare. You would have got a little kissy, and then I would have bounced. Ophelia tells her that Midnight is an Egyptian Mao, one of the rarest of breeds. They were temple cats and said to carry special powers. Patience is like, right. Surrounded by puss. 43 cats were trained for this film, by the way. Insane. Patience tells Austin Powers' mama it's been a bad day and a sister can't remember most of yesterday. Trying to get up and leave for work, but Ophelia grabs catnip from a box, tossing it to her. And she immediately catches it, rubbing it all over her face. What the f? George screams at her shortly when she arrives to the headquarters. Everybody's staring because they're nosy. He did not have to do all this in public. Like, bro, this is why you're a bastard, sitting up here bitching because she never delivered her design, shouting, "Your incompetence is staggering."
Are you even listening to me?
This whole time, she'd been drawing this uncanny pic of George with devil horns and his tongue out. So he crumbles it, storming away, but Patience jumps up apologizing. "Sorry's not nearly enough." Okay. Then let me try the remix. Camp. This is how you write camp, children. Take notes. Her eyes burn through his pale skin as she says, "I'm sorry for every second I wasted working for an untalented, unethical egomaniac like you." And then Georgie tells her to clean out her cubicle because she's fired. She was doing so good, perfect up until this point, and then she's got to ruin it by apologizing, saying, "Mr. Hader, I didn't mean it. Did I?"
But imagine how tired we are.
Please. He's already gone though. Sally calls her bestie my hero, and everybody in the room claps and cheers because she stood up to Hader. Did she really stand up to him though? Because you apologized at the end. And okay, I get what we're doing. We're trying to slowly, gradually show that this bad gal Riri is slipping in. After work, Patience is trying to tell Sal that somebody else was speaking through her. It's like she was saying it, but she wasn't saying it. That sounds like demons to me. Don't make me get my holy oil. And yet another embarrassing moment. These dogs start barking at her. Sally's looking at her like, girl, you good? They cross Halsberg jewelry store and we get a very neat shot of Patience looking at this necklace where in the reflection it wraps around her neck. This is why I love Sally. She turns looking at Patience and she says, why, you just got fired. Why are we looking at jewelry? But then something hits our salad. Those damn headaches. And she passes out. After observation and a million tests, they don't find anything, and Sally says the upside is that her doctor is sexy. I get her. Sal asks for the details with Tommy, but Patience says it's not gonna work out. And this is something that is reoccurring for our protagonist, guys, because not only is she clumsy and nervous, shy and anxious, but she's also pessimistic. Cut to Tom Lone speaking at an elementary school class to these kids about choosing to be good versus bad. Are we talking to a bunch of badass kids at a juvenile detention center? This girl raises her hand asking to see his gun, and he's like, absolutely not. Then a boy raises his hand asking if he can shoot it. What? Now, when Patience shows up, Tom dismisses the kids for recess to shoot some hoops. She says she called the police station who told her where Lone was. That is not a good team, nephew. What if this woman wanted to assassinate him? They just giving out your location? Anyway, she brought him some coffee and wrote the word sorry on it. Remember that handwriting, it's gonna come back later. So this next scene is, for lack of a better word, legendaric. Yeah, you heard me right. Not legendary, legendaric. Yeah. Tom tells his caramel queen he's used to working alone because partners never take the job as seriously as him. And Patience can relate. Sally calls her fun deficient. So a child comes bouncing a ball asking if the couple want to play one-on-one, tossing the ball at Patience.
She's really good.
Patience is like, word, I haven't done that since I was a kid. When people talk about this movie, I feel like this is the #1 scene that they will bring up. The couple take their jackets off, ready to show these kids how it's done. The camera movement is so head ass. It's as if we're watching a music video. I love it. I love it. I don't care. Please watch this scene in its entirety. I wish I could play so much more. I say this every episode. If copyright was not a thing, because the rules with fair use and commentary, it's slippery slope. You know, these studios don't care. Patience is shaking her ass. He's waving his shirt up, flashing the stomach. There are kids present. You are being a little too freaky right now. She goes full LeBron on his ass. Come on, handwork. Jumping into the sky, shooting right in the net, landing on top of him. Put that bitch in the WBA and draw her a $5 million contract now. Laurel's in George's office with all these photographs of Drina. It's so ridiculous. They're all the same, just in different crops. And then the fucking magnifying glass. What are you looking for? A pour? An imperfect pour to make yourself feel better? Wesley comes in letting Laurel know George will be at the factory for the rest of the day. If by factory you mean the Four Seasons teaching Drina to unlock the minibar, consider me informed. Wes tries to get a sentence in, but Laurel tells her loyal security guard, George hasn't said anything meaningful to me since he said I do. She goes to the window with her folder and vodka, catching the two like a hawk in the sky, heading into a limo. Patience is laid out across her bed on her 8th can of tuna, eating with her fingers. Where is the class? Then the phone rings, and it's of course Sally, who says, you would think with all the advances in medicine, these motherfuckers would have a wet bar. My girl is riding high on some medicine that she can't even pronounce. Throughout this phone call, Patience jumps across pieces of her furniture like a cat, telling her BFF about how she whooped this cop's ass in ball, venting that next time could be worse because she feels like she can't be herself. And Sal tells Patience to cut the LeBron performance and just honey, just be yourself. She's also the first to hang up because, you know, the future father of her children is coming. That night, those same punk rock neighbors, actually no, I don't even want to say punk rock because they're not that cool. Some old ass bitches are blasting rock when Patience rushes to that fire escape because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. No, that she whips some ass. Pun on the whip. She screams, shut that off. And the owner screams back, get alive. Look, I told y'all Midnight is watching all of this and telepathically telling Patience to wreak havoc. So the Caramel Queen goes to the apartment, banging on the door, and the creep answers, telling her this ain't a slumber party, seeing her PJs. However, in her case, a white man can make an exception.
As if.
Patience is still doing all this yapping. You know, she's better than me. You know, I don't like repeating myself. I'm only going to say something twice. My girl kicks that fucking door down, low-key shocked that she did it, then jumps on the table saying, I'll tell you what, why don't I do it myself? I know that's right. She grabs the beer nozzle, spraying their expensive speakers, then the tenant, when he starts running his mouth. I'm sorry, what did you say? Is the music still too loud? She continues spraying the speakers until they blow out, cracks the nozzle like a whip, drops it, then leaps at this sucker with her foot on his chest. You hear that? It's called silence. That's all I ever wanted. Now keep it down.
What a perfect idea.
Now is the time to mentally, physically, spiritually, prepare to get your life. Top 3 sequence in the film. Patience goes in her closet, grabbing this huge black box, switching her tail as the beat drops. And the box reads, open in case of emergency. Love, Sally and Lance. Smirking to herself, she opens it, revealing a black leather outfit. Cut to Patience in the bathroom having the opposite of a mental breakdown. She cuts her hair, but with intent, dropping those luscious curls to the ground as the transformation begins. Dyeing the hair, applying lipstick, eyeshadow. Then she jumps from her fire escape onto a neighbor's bike and says,
Time to accessorize.
my bike! This girl speed races through the streets in an overstimulating 2000s edit, going all the way to that jewelry store because that necklace is hers. Not the Eyes Wide Shut inspired mask. Who else is scared? She looks so good with this pixie cut. I don't care what anybody says. It's giving, where's the manager? The white women with black husbands and mixed kids took notes with this one. Yeah, they took notes. Except the hair is blonde. It's always blonde and their name is always Crystal. When Patience looks up noticing that there are already thieves inside, she flashes that classic Halle Berry white smile. She sits on top of this balcony calling these thieves amateurs, now wearing a mask that she picked up inside. You boys thought that you could come in here and steal all these beautiful things.
What a perfect idea.
These dumbasses load up their shotguns and start blasting, only proving what she said about being amateurs. And yeah, I counted that 15 bullets went off. Why would you shoot 15 but not thinking that, like, y'all just don't care if the alarm go off? Nothing. She obviously has disappeared. Well, that is until she kicks the one on the left, who knocks into his buddy as the music picks up. But there's a third member who's got a pistol. She turns, sensing him right as he opens fire, climbing on top of the walls, along the rail, jumping to the next one, making a complete circle. The cat snatches the bag of jewels and we get this incredible fight sequence. She kicks that gun out that motherfucker's hand, then dips on the ground, double kicking him in the face, catching angles, and back kicks the third guy. Like, wow. You know, majestic. It's 3 men on 1 woman and she is beating the brakes off of y'all. After taking one down, finding herself on her bum, she does a backflip straight into a thief's chest. But another one's about to get up. So the cat jumps into the air and rides him like a skateboard, letting him hit the wall head first. So that's 2 for 3 because the last guy's still not knocked out. He jumps to grab the gun, but the cat jumps into the air, kneeing him in the balls, yanks his beanie off and says,
how could you not say
The next morning, all the jewelry the thieves tried to steal, she took home and laid across her bed. When Patience wakes up off the floor, she grabs a paper bag to put everything away, but there's one piece that sticks out, a ring. Oh yeah, and then of course that necklace, and you know that stand. Jump to Halsberg Jewelry, where the owner's telling Detective Tommy about the famous necklace that was a one-of-a-kind from Egypt. A member of the forensics team approaches this paper bag with Tom that says sorry on it. Do you remember the handwriting? Yes, it's hers from the cup. Why the hell... I don't need, like, why? She wrote it the exact same way. The woman looks inside, handing the bag to Tom, who pulls out some necklaces, as the girl opens the box that was planted next to the bag. 6 cupcakes. So this is when they hit up all the nearby bakeries and check the cameras to see who ordered 6 cupcakes, right? You know, it's 2004, not 1904. They have cameras. Back home, Patience is on an early model of the Apple iBook, the ancestors of the MacBook. I'm sure it's slow as hell. Doing hard research on cats and seeing all the buzzwords of executed witches, cults, devils, everything we saw in the opening. Pictures of ancient Egypt come up with all the different Catwomen, and guess who's in all of them? Midnight. So we return to Ophelia, who says she knew Patience would be back when she was ready. Opening this elaborate book showing her the goddess Bast, which whom the mouths are sacred to. They were her messengers. This book they're looking at was made by Ophelia herself. Back in back in black and white, she was a professor for 20 years until she was denied tenure, you know? male academia. The women are on the top level of this library where Ophelia tells patients more about Bast, how she was a goddess of the moon and the sun, representing the duality in all women. And Patience is like, girl, what this got to do with me? When Ophelia asks what happened to her the other night, it's crickets. So she asks, do you want me to tell you? Ophelia tells her that she died and she was reborn. And of course, Patience is like, mama, what you talking about? Well, look at me, like a bad bitch is still here. I'm still here. Like, what was he talking about? But it was Midnight who wanted to test to see if Patience was worthy of this gift, to change her life and give her a new one. Then Ophelia pushes her off of this gate that opens, which, okay, hold on. Why do we have a gate right at the top of this staircase? Why is that there? How many women have you pushed off of this gate to prove a point, Ophelia? Speak! She lands on her feet though.
You're not alone, child. You saved others before you. Look.
I will admit that I always thought Midnight was a boy for whatever silly reason. I don't know why. When I look at this cat, I just see a boy. I don't know why. Mind you, they used 3 different Egyptian mouths over the course of the production to play Midnight. But the thing is that, you know, the first time Patience meets Ophelia, Midnight is referred to as her. And only a few moments ago, Ophelia says, what?
That's why she tested you.
But now we're talking about he's saved others before you. And you can't be talking about the goddess that the mouths worship, Bast, because you said that was a woman. Did nobody like catch this? It's mind boggling. Did Francis not pull Pitt off to the side? And you know, well, I mean, he's French and there's a language barrier. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Midnight is non-binary.
Right.
I'm still going to say she, her, because I think that the intention was for the cat to be a girl because this is about empowerment and women. I think it's a female cat. Anyway, after Ophelia tosses down photographs of all the Catwomen that came before, she tells Patience they are not contained by the rules of society. They follow their own desires. This is both a blessing and a curse. You will often be alone and misunderstood. Is she talking about Aquarians? But with this comes the experience of freedom that other women will never know. You are a Catwoman, sister. Sight, smell, sound, heighten, fierce independence, total confidence, total puss, and gaggy reflexes. You know the deal. If you look closely, you will notice that one of these Catwomen are Michelle Pfeiffer's version in Batman Returns. Fucking love that movie. I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier. I think my favorite line in that entire movie, she says, is when Max was shooting her with the gun and she was losing her lives by the minute and she was like whipping the whip and she was like 4, 5, 6, still alive. Patience doesn't think she can be Patience anymore, but this elder diva hands her a mask saying, child, you must accept all of who you are and be free. And yeah, freedom is power. So take this damn mask so we can get the plot moving. And the moment, wow, the moment that we have all been waiting for is here, homies. Patience is now in full Catwoman mode. Toes are painted. Look at the detail on the shoe. Yup, eat it. And we do this 360 sweeping shot that pans up around her entire outfit. The detail on the pants, the diamond nails on the gloves, how she cut the sleeves and rolled it down, the bras attached with the straps where she put in a belt across the stomach. The skin is oiled and slicked down. Titties are sitting, a red lip, the cut of the mask.
Here's me gagging.
Not to mention this song that's playing elevates everything. The cat leaps off a building right as the rock music drops, sliding down this brick wall, running building to building, climbs and leaps, swinging on these rails, landing a few hundred feet away from this limo where Laurel asks Armando if he dealt with Slavicki.
It's done.
The cat can see in her flashbacks Armando was the one who fired that gun at her nights ago, so her target is locked on. Armando walks down this dirty back way into the club with the cat right on his tail, and she goes to the bar ordering a white Russian with no ice, hold the vodka, hold the Kahlua, which just leaves Scream straight up. She throws that sucker back, licks the top of her lips, lipstick's still intact, that's how you know it's high quality, and makes her way to the dance floor to show these bitches how to do it. These strobe lights turn as she poses and twists her body all over this floor, pulling out the whip, feeling like a dummy mommy. The cat whips her way across this floor, somehow missing everybody around her, and connects the whip to a pipe, flying straight in front of Armando, who grips that rubber, pulling her close. But before he can get a taste of this puss, we jump cut to an alleyway where she throws this bozo out the back door, and we get this incredible fight sequence. Every swing, every punch this guy throws, he misses. She is too fast for him. Cat-like reflexes, ho. The cat cartwheels away as Armando reaches for his pistol. She's like looking for something, pulling out that pew pew and tossing it behind him. His dumbass tries to run for his wee gun and she cracks that whip around his neck, swinging his body around, sending him flying to the wall. Respect for allowing him a chance to stand up. They go fist for claw, and yet again, guys, you know, she is clawing, tearing his ass up. But enough playing around. The cat jumps on this man, sending him to the ground, saying, "The other night you killed somebody. She was a nice girl. Why?" Gorilla gripping his tongue while laughing, saying,
Cat got your tongue.
Armando pulls out the, I don't know nothing, man. You know, I was just ordered to flush the pipes, and I guess there must be something wrong with Bioline. And Tadare is covering it up. She backs up, kicking him in the face, picks up her Dami Mommy tool, and whips us back to the Hadair factory, switching her tail through the halls into a room where she finds, Slavicki's dead body. Well, and that's when a janitor sees Catwoman standing over him, so she rushes out as the alarm starts blaring. Patience debuts her new look to Sally, who's telling her homegirl, "You look good." And Miss Phillips hands her a bag with her clothes and a treat, which is a Hershey's bar. I never liked Hershey's. I was more, what did I eat? I was more of a Snickers person. Comment down below what kind of chocolate bars that you liked, you know, besides me. Patience is asking her, you know, what's going on? How you feeling? And our BFF tells us that she feels better, but maybe because she's been laying off the Cosmos. On the TV, there's a news reporter saying some chick in a cat suit murdered Ivan Slavicki last night. Then George's clown ass pops up saying the actions of this lunatic will not keep Bioline off the shelves, and they will launch next week as planned.
Because we owe it to the women of this country.
Sal calls that white man full of himself as she reaches for her cream jar, moaning that she's almost out. I'm not. Patience snatches that test product jar out her hand, asking how long these headaches have been going on. Been about a month. So Patience orders her to stop using this because it's making you sick. You crazy as hell. Don't touch it. You know who I had the to get this cream? A man named Bob drops off a jewelry bag to Tom from Forensics, also handing a folder having to do with Slavicki's homicide. Tom asks the homie if his wife would crawl out on the ledge of a building to rescue a stray cat, and this Bob guy is like, ahaha, maybe if the cat was carrying a pizza.
I'll smack one of you bitches.
Ah yes, early 2000s fat shaming women. Of course he laughs at this and locks his eyes right on the cup that Patience gave him, which I guess he never threw away, even though that basketball scene was days ago. And on top of that, you know, this guy is useless. How do you not remember the handwriting? It's too specific. I would give him a little more slack had he threw away the coffee cup, because sure, he only saw it once. Actually, no, I wouldn't, because it's the fucking same. He takes it to a specialist who's saying a bunch of nothing about the shapes of the S and letters indicative of loneliness and insecurity. Trying to separate these handwritings, you know, one of them is a people pleaser and the other doesn't like to play by the rules. You know, it's like so... It's stupid. There's this entire carnival sequence I don't much care for where our main lovers go on a date. They get stuck on a Ferris wheel, and while Tom plays Save the Civilians, Patience plays Save the Churn because she hops out her seat, saving a kid who almost makes brain soup on the ground. And to celebrate, Tom wants to take this caramel queen out to dinner, but she declines because sis has some business that needs to be taken care of. Catwoman goes to the Hadair mansion at nightfall, sneaking over the gate, busting inside by drawing a circle with her diamond claws and pulling out the circle of glass, checking the computers, going to the top level. I have to say, I do love all these shots of her walking through the mansion. The she-devil in red has a golf club, telling this burglar they picked the wrong house. But the cat kicks that Republican sport tool out of her hand, and Laurel accuses her of being the cat that killed Slavicki. You don't believe everything you see on TV, do you? Catwoman requests to talk with George, and Laurel is like, I'm here. Why on earth would he be home? This blondie even tries to swing on my girl, but gets dropped and rolled down these steps like a sushi roll, and they continue this diva off, circling around the table, as the cat reveals she knows all about that disease in a jar. I wouldn't cock a sink with it. And whoever killed Slavicki did it to keep Bioline's toxic little secret. Reminder, there were 3 writers, 3 men who wrote this, and this is the dialogue that was written. Laurel don't give a fuck about her husband though, so she throws this brochure across the table where there's a show happening. If you want to ask George yourself, there he is. I wonder if Laurel and George have a prenup. Before the cat leaves, she asks how to reach Laurel, and Blondie gives this stranger her cell phone. See, this is how I know you're not thinking, Catwoman. You know, this phone could be tracked. You know, what's not clicking? Crazy as hell. I would have wrote her number down and I would have called, if I needed to talk to Laura, I would have called her on a payphone. George is at this high art show with Drina, who's bored out of her mind because she would rather be at an Ariana Grande concert. And that's when Catwoman arrives, leaping all over the building, and the brother sees her reflection, calling for an employee to ping the cops. Drina thinks this is a total waste of time, and Georgie dismissively tells her to shut the fuck up and don't think. Consider it a condition of their relationship. And this is why y'all need to leave them old ass men alone. You know, this, I don't give a damn how much money you getting from it. This is, I'm so sorry. Like it gets to a point. You are just a body to them. And I don't knock beneficial and sugar relationships. I guess it just depends on how much you are willing to put up with, but no. Having somebody disrespect you so casually is another thing. I don't tolerate that. We do not tolerate that over here. Drina walks out upset, and before you can spell puss, Catwoman takes her spot. He's about to crash out because who the heck?
Like my nails? Just got them done.
He tells her to get your paws off me this instant, protesting he didn't kill anybody when the cat brings up the murder of patients. And that's right when these officers break in their section. So the cat leaps off the balcony onto the stage as the audience gasps in excitement, screaming, hooting, hollering, clapping, pointing at her when she climbs up the set wall. And the cat goes backstage where guess who shows up? The only goddamn detective in the city, Tom Lone. He's got a gun straight to her, telling her not to move, but she says cats come when they feel like it, not when told. He tells her to put her hands on her head, but she is just playing in his face. The spotlight briefly blinds his eyes, so she dips out, scaring him from behind so bad that he falls off the rail, but she catches him. He's dangling and tells Miss Dummy Mommy that she's under arrest. Like, haha, okay, sure, bud, cuff me up. You know, like, I'll fucking drop your ass right now. Stop playing with me. The cat takes the gun out of his hands, tossing it aside. This entire scene, yet again, is just Catwoman being too damn quick for these men. She doesn't beat Tom up, though, how she did Armando. This is, this is more playful and more sexual. Telling him to bring those cuffs on. When he gets a hold of her against his chest, he asks if she thinks this is a game. She's like, oh yeah, now we're playing. The cat gets loose from his grip, dropping to the floor, rolling back and kicking him. This light is swinging around. She captures the cuffs, asking, don't I get din first? And Tom says, I'll feed you in your cell. I love the editing. It's so fast. It's so fun. They're swinging around this damn rail. Catwoman's doing cartwheels. And she grabs this cable, jumping on Tom before he warns her that if the cable hits them, then they're both fried. I knew I felt a spark between us. When she tries to throw the cable back, that gives Tom enough time to cuff her wrist. I'm not going to say he does it, but he attempts to do something that I wish more characters in slashers try to do. He tries to take her mask off. She easily slips out those cuffs when other pigs arrive and the diva's surrounded. So she jumps on that cable like a stripper pole, saying, okay boys, show of hands. Who can see in the dark? Then slams the cable on an electric circuit, which shuts all the lights off as she says, I can.
It was me you flushed down the pipes.
The next day, George is in his office on the phone calling this cat fiasco a total bloody disaster.
Total bloody disaster.
I mean, how does she know all of this? I mean, who is she anyway? Laurel comes in, switching her tail, reading this man for filth. Don't be so scared, George. And a word of advice, quit the self-tanning. Stop eating Viagra like they're vitamins. Resist the urge to date children born the same day they invented the cell phone. This is why I like her, because her mouth is quick. For once in your miserable life, be a man. Then he smacks this woman across the face, but the person he hurts is himself. Butylene works wonders, doesn't it? In a brief scene, we see Laurel in front of her mirror drinking a dirty martini, applying the death cream. Then her immigrant maid comes in pardoning herself, and Laurel rudely dismisses her, saying, go, a-hole. Patience goes on a date with Tommy at a sushi restaurant, unable to control her cat appetite because when the platter arrives, she starts stuffing her mouth. This sushi on this platter are actually chunks of fruit. What? Patience, is that you? Out on somebody motherfucking bite? Hold on. The sushi on this platter were actually pieces of fruit that were cut and molded to look like raw fish. Patience tries to play with his mind a bit, asking about this caramel dropper who got away, you know, with the black leather, the whip. Tommy admits he isn't one for bad girls. You know, it doesn't get him hard as a rock. So Patience, I need you to, you know, calm it down, stop freaking out, and go back to being shy, quirky girl. He tries to switch the conversation, wanting to know more about Miss Phillips, but there isn't much, homie. I'm just a girl. You know, I went to art school and with the intent to be an artist, and I got a job at an advertising agency, and now I don't know what I am anymore.
Well, I know what you are. You're different. You're special. And I like that about you.
No, that would actually piss me off because you are being so vague. Like, tell me, tell me right now what you like about me. Quickly, you know, because since Mr. Sweet Talker, because for all I know, you probably said this to 3 other bitches this week. So let's hear it. Tom, Lone, let's hear it. When they leave dinner, she ever so slowly tries to get it out that she is the sexy black cat running around this city wreaking havoc, but it can't come out. Rain starts pouring down, and we know how much cats hate the rain. So they kiss under shelter with this slow R&B record coming in with slow motion footage of them getting freaky at Patience's loft. Very PG-13. Like, we don't even see none. I can barely see Benjamin's Go back, rewind so I can see his body. Tom gets up in the middle of the night with his battle scar cat scratch, getting a Dasani water bottle, not the ad placement, stepping on one of Catwoman's diamond claws, examining it in the moonlight. He also sees a glass that has Patience's lipstick on it. Now, when she wakes up shortly after, he's already gone. Laurel's cell phone starts going ping ping, which is hidden under the bed, and when she grabs it,
It's me.
bitch. You're telling me Laurel set up this goddamn Nokia 7610, 144 pixels, by the way. You know what you're watching right now? You're watching this in 4K, 144. And you see how clear that is on the phone? You're telling me she set that camera up and put that little visual thing up when somebody calls the phone and she... It's me. First of all, this is Laurel's personal cell phone that she gave to Catwoman. So why would she have that? It's not like she's calling herself. So she's obviously, she has to be using a house phone somewhere in the mansion to call her own phone. So camp. Camp. Laurel tells Patience, "You were right, Mama. The cream, it's toxic. I have proven we can stop him, but we have to stop him together. George will be launching Beuline at a press conference tomorrow, and it'll be on the shelves by Monday." Patience sees a note left by Tom before we cut to that glass being image matched to the lipstick kiss Catwoman gave Tom the other night. And the match probability is 99.9%. This is what finally makes him realize. Not the sorry handwriting that matches on the coffee cup in the jewelry bag. Not that 85% of her body is revealed through the cat suit and you can see most of her face. Not the fact that he stepped on a diamond claw in her crib, but a fucking lipstick stain. What are you detecting, detective? Yeah. Catwoman arrives to the Hedera mansion asking what Laurel found. This woman is in a long black dress saying, "Enough evidence to put someone away for a long, long time. I was everything they wanted me to be. I was never more beautiful. And then I turned 40 and they threw me away." She waves her hand saying it's all there behind the desk. And what's behind the desk? George's dead body.
Miss Keisha.
Laurel says no one is going to stop Beuline from hitting the shelves. Not Slivicki, not George.
Not me, not Hermione.
And certainly not you, pussycat. What's new, pussycat? Whoa. Laurel tosses a smoking gun at the cat, which this criminal just emptied into her husband's chest, taps the alarm, grabs a silk hanky, and starts crying. Crazy ass white woman. These motherfuckers teleport in that house in 2 seconds. Let's be serious. Laurel is screaming, "Help! The killer is escaping!" At least 20 people show up to this mansion as if this is the White House. Well, it is a White House, but let's be serious. Like, you think this would be the mayor of the city, something like a politician? No, this is the house of a damn cosmetics CEO. And y'all know Detective Tom is there. Catwoman picks up a tracksuit of Laurel's blending into the city civilians and sees a massive screen outside where the alter ego is framed for murder. Yet again, huh? This is all happening so quick. I'm not buying it. By morning, Tom's waiting with his gun inside Patience's loft, apologizing as we hear the police sirens get louder. In the interrogation room, Mama's trying to explain, I've got evidence that Bioline was toxic. And Laurel found out. She killed Slavicki. George found out. Find it. And, you know, and she killed George too. She was covering it up. All the evidence points to the Caramel Queen, guys. She's like, do you remember the first time you saw me? What did you see? I saw a girl rescuing a cat. No, you didn't, nigga. You saw a jumper about to paint the concrete red. Midnight visits Patience in her cell, who is replaying all the encouraging girl boss dialogue taken from Ross and Marshall's decorations about being free and vibrant. She turns to Kitty, telling her protector this Bioline launch isn't about her anymore. It's for the girls. Patience glides her body through these bars like a bar of Dove soap lurking through the halls, having nowhere to guard besides the window. So she jumps in slow motion.
Here we go now. Where we go? Where we go? Here we go now. Here we go now.
Of course, she lands on her feet and her ass gets tapped by a man driving a Jaguar. He's got the balls to get out and apologize though, but she does a Grand Theft Auto, stealing his core. Laurel's evil ass is talking with her team, saying Georgie dreamed of a world where every woman could be as beautiful as she wanted to be. And as the new chief executive, Mama intends to make that dream a reality by proceeding with tomorrow's launch of Bioline, the devil. They've got women passing around this death cream on glass trays, and a lady approaches Laurel, thanking her because she's been dying to try this stuff. Dying. Right. Detective Lone arrives because, as I said, he is the only detective in the city. Laurel announces to the room that Tom is the man who brought her husband's killer to justice. Look at Armando and Wesley locking eyes. All y'all make me sick. He asks to speak to her in private, so they go up to Laurel's office. Meanwhile, outside, we see shipments of Bioline cream getting ready to load up and out. But I told y'all, Catwoman is a girl's girl. She's a girl's girl. She's not gonna let this cream hit the shelves. She connects this long chain to all the truck's front wheels, gliding underneath, then hops in one of the vehicles and slams on the gas, blowing them all off. Laurel tells Tomcat the lie of Kitty Woman standing over her husband with claw marks all over his body. But what's not making sense is the lack of claw marks on Ivan Slavicki's body. And this trick is like, I don't know, maybe she didn't have the time, you know? Daddy's trying to be all mysterious, like, what if I told you I know the truth? You know, what if I told you I know all about Bioline and I know who killed your husband? I'm not gonna lie, I love this outfit Laurel has on, but more so of the fit, not necessarily the design. Kind of wish it was a different color. Tom mentions he's got evidence, so she says,
If you have evidence, then how come I'm not in cuffs?
just gave yourself away, dummy. He tries to test her, believing that they could work something out. Make the evidence disappear. Oh. Pin it on the other girl. This falls flat though, because as soon as he says, I know it was you, she whips out her pistol and blasts this sucker in the shoulder. He's like, don't be stupid, Laura. You don't want to kill a cop. I'm a woman, Lone. I'm used to doing all kinds of things I don't want to do. She angles her gun, but right on time, Catwoman cracks that whip around the gun and saves her Pookie. When the couple in black escape, Laurel hits a button calling for her henchman. The first person they run into is Armando, who the cat throws her heel up on, swiping him in the face and kicking him down the stairs. They keep moving through the back of this factory, but Tom has to stop because the gunshot is getting to him. She asks, how is it? And he says, well, there goes my jump shot. A cute little callback to the basketball scene. He formally apologizes, motioning he should have trusted his Caramel Queen all along. Armando and Wesley roll up to the back ways where Tom and the cat are hiding, splitting up on different paths. Wesley's walking about this top level, passing large display pics of Laurel, who's also making her way inside the archive room. And right when Wesley steps in front of a pair of lips, Catwoman punches through that fabric, snatching him by the neck, throws him up against the wall, knocking him out. Meanwhile, Tommy's trying to rest in that back hall, Armando stepping closer with his gun hot and ready, then Tom punches him in the jaw, whacks him in the face one more again until he's knocked out. Laurel has her revolver ready, tiptoeing with her heels echoing on the walls, when Catwoman announces herself saying, I can't believe I trusted you. You're a fake. Laurel's like, right. And what are you? A hero? Blowing 2 bullets? A thief? A freak? If you don't have an identity, why keep it a secret, ho? When I tell you guys, I'm being dead ass serious too. This might be my favorite fight scene in cinematic. I don't know if it's still #1, but this is a top 5. Top 5. The cat swoops behind her, whispering, because you killed me. Knocks the gun out of Laurel's hands and slams her through this gate. It was me you flushed down the pipes. Laurel tries to get at her, but the cat kicks the gate, knocking her down, running up to her saying, I'm Patience Phillips. I never understood this. What superhero gives away their identity like that? You lost your Riz. Patience. The cat kicks Laurel's ankles, back kicks her across the jaw, hops over top of her, then throws this rag doll across a poster. Laurel gets up like it's nothing, and Catwoman moves this rack out the way like, let's make some room. Bitch, you about to get a beat down. By the way, fabulous rock song playing. Yeah. The cat flips doing a back kick and sends Laurel flying, banging her head on this metal bar. Cat does a spin jump into the air, kicking her opponent again 4 different times, I think. It's happening way too fast. This white devil goes flying to another poster, face first on the ground. Oh my god, she is beating the brakes off of this woman. Laurel cannot get up. Every time she tries, Cat kicks her wrist, the heel, her back, the jaw. Laurel's thrown at another poster. All these metal bars fall down. But she tells this pussycat she can't be hurt. Bioline. The blonde demon grabs a metal bar, reminding us, if you stop using it, then your face disintegrates. Swinging this bar, missing multiple times. And if you keep using it, skin like living marble. I have said and continue to say those 4 magic words in my day-to-day life. So now you know, if I say that in a future video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Laurel drops the pipe and grabs a fire extinguisher, spraying it, running up the stairs blindly, but the cat's already gone. Leaping from behind, climbing on Laurel's back, smashing her face on this glass, and then she does a spin before jumping onto this pole and bouncing off of it, knocking Laurel over to another poster that's covered in glass. And she falls down with all these shards raining down. Remember how I said Halle Berry has another scream in the 3rd act? Baby, why would you even get that close to her? Laurel picks up another pipe, telling this trick, you're just a scared little girl playing dress up. Another one of my favorite memes in my phone. I don't use this picture enough, but it's this picture right here. After she pulls the glass out her leg. Oh my god, I love this movie, guys. You don't understand. I love this movie. Laurel gets her across the face, the stomach, kicking her twice before the cat gets up and she slams the end of the pole into Dami Mommy's stomach. She's like, you're gonna look like a cop killer. You wanted to save him, honey. You couldn't even save yourself. Striking her again in the stomach, but the cat moves out the way on her next 3 strikes. The glass is completely shattered at this point, and our protagonist holds on to the ends, trying to catch her breath. I am mature enough to agree that this is arguably the worst line in the entire film. Laurel says, game over. Ah, boy. And Catwoman replies,
Overtime.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The cat knocks Laurel down, flying to the ceiling, and of course, at the last second, this is finally the time when she wants to pull out her whip, wrapping it around Laurel's legs, striking her across the face till she makes her way back down to the floor and goes ham on this white devil's face. She claws this girl left, right, up, down. I mean, you know, that cream was, I ain't gonna hold you, know, that cream was doing some work, was putting some work for the, you know, it was a shield for her skin. Laurel stumbles to the shattered window, grabbing the metal bar at the last second, and now she's dangling. Look at this fool holding out her hand. I would have kicked her right in the chest and sent her plummeting down to hell. Laurel gets a glimpse of herself in the cracked glass, horrified, honey, yelling, help me! LOL. And then she falls to her death.
Damn.
Tom comes up behind Catwoman, who says, I might not be a hero, but I'm certainly not a killer. He mentions how it'll be hard to prove Kitty Girl was murdering all these people if Patience is still in her cell by tomorrow morning. Oh lord, that cream f***ed her face up. Sally's reading news articles about Catwoman saving lives, just as her man, aka her doctor, not Sally, put it on him. She put it on the doctor. You know what? Good for you, Sally. That, yeah, don't sign it. Don't sign them papers. We don't do prenups around here. Ophelia is sitting on her porch and opens this folder with a painting from Patience. We then get this ending monologue / voiceover of a letter that Patience wrote to Tom. Thomas Lone, sincere apologies that I told you to meet me at this cafe and would waited for you. Was this letter on the table? But production needs a dramatic shot of you in a public space isolated. You know, in my old life, I longed for someone to see what a real bad bitch is. We cry, we get vulnerable, we wear Converses with our dress, we blast Wham at 3 a.m. I needed someone to see what was special in me. Hallelujah. And you did just that. You laid it down that night we went to the Japanese joint on 54th and Crenshaw. Oh my God, I feel it. Oh, I feel it in my stomach. But this caramel queen needed to see it for herself. You're a good man, Tommy. A good man. But you live in a world that has no place for a superstar like me. You see, sometimes I'm good. Oh, very good. And sometimes I'm bad, but only as bad as I want to be. Freedom is power. To live a life gluten-free, acid reflux-free, untamed, hot, fly, sexy is the gift that this pussycat's been given. And so, my journey begins. Catwoman jumps off the building as we get the same music from when we first saw her in this fly-ass outfit, and we watch her switch her tail into the moonlight, cracking that whip. Let me begin with saying that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I think people who consume any form of art with the mentality of I'm right and you're wrong if you don't like this, or you're wrong if you don't get this, that's silly. Like, come on. Art is subjective. I said it in the intro, I understand why people say this is a bad movie. The storytelling is not fully developed, you know, on a cinematic standard. It's not that great, but my love for this film, aside of childhood nostalgia, it stems from how fucking ridiculous it is. I don't want to single anyone out. Another comment that I said in the intro, but there are specific communities that are going to get the fun out of this film. They're going to get it more than others. And what I'm referring to is the girls, the gays, and everybody in between. I do not expect straight men to see this film in the same lens that we do. You know, the camp lens. One of my lights went out, guys. That's how you know I've been recording for hours. The execution of the camera work leans heavily into the male gaze, how revealing Hallie's costume is, all the rips in the legs, the exposed stomach, the bra, the red lip, not to mention it's all leather. Something we must think about though, and I'm not calling this an excuse, this is just an observation. The director of this film is a Frenchman, and it's common knowledge that Europeans are not as conservative as Americans when it comes to nudity and sexuality. So when you remember all that, the tones of the whipping, the straddling, the slow pans on Hallie, which treat her more like a model than a hero, it checks out. Just how the film keeps throwing out the word power, there's an empowerment element about all of this. Queer people latch to these beautiful, strong figures in pop culture for being bad, for being sexy, for being a symbol, knowing the power they hold over men, and women do it too. This outfit design is not in any way vulgar to me. It is the black sheep of the Catwoman outfits, yes, but this is puss, if anything. It's different. And dude, come on, look at the mold of Patience Phillips. Baggy clothes, long hair, self-conscious, closed off. And what would be the opposite? Short hair, liberated, playful, dominant. You cannot say that there isn't a separation or lack of duality. Do I wish the duality was, you know, fleshed out better? Well, yes. Many times we see Patience venting to Sally about how she can't be herself around this man, calling herself a freak in the early 2000s way, not the current day freak and what we ascribe to that. And hey, I'd hate to pull out the race card, but does a fraction of the hate and the critique of this film have to do with not only the overtly sexual outfit in nature, but also that a black woman is playing Catwoman? Let's take it there. And yes, Eartha Kitt was the first colored woman to play the role. She was also only in 5 episodes from the Batman TV show, by the way. And you bet your ass the Southern Network affiliates opened their mouths about it, causing the production to pull back on any romantic scenes with her and Adam West. But here, Hallie was fresh off an Oscar for Monsters Ball, which carries its own politics with black women and the Jezebel stereotype. If you haven't seen Monsters Ball, it's practically about a black woman having a sexual relationship with a racist white man. That tells you everything right there. Hallie did a sex scene with Billy Bob, yes, that's his name, Billy Bob Thornton, on screen, and the Academy threw her an Oscar, breaking the record for the first woman of color, specifically the first black woman, to win Best Actress.
Thank you. I'm so honored. I'm so honored.
This same type of conversation was brought up when Tiana Taylor got her Golden Globe for One Battle After Another. A large chunk of viewers felt that Tiana's character was a symbol for white men to fawn over, and Paul Thomas Anderson really was just directing out his own internalized fetishes.
You like black girls? I love them. I love them.
A nightmare.
literally a nightmare.
I have friends who broke it down for me. I personally have not seen the film. I have no interest in it, so I'll keep my comments to myself. Anyway, Halle's Oscar was only a year before the filming and proposal of Catwoman, which she was shredded for. It's almost as if Hollywood didn't know what the hell to do with a black female Oscar winner, and if gone right, it would have been a major turning point in her career. But she chose to do this role because she wanted to take that creative risk. She wanted to bring a new personal interpretation to the character. She thought this was an awesome chance for a woman of color to be a superhero. It's well known that Halle received a Razzie Award for this and was the first to accept it in person. Not only that, she came on stage with her Oscar in her hand.
But wow, what a moment. First of all, I want to thank Warner Brothers. Thank you for putting me in a piece of shit, god-awful movie. I want to thank the writers, all 20 of them. I also want to thank our director, Pitoff. Thank you very much. I mean, I didn't know what the hell he was saying. I'm sure it showed in my performance. When I was a kid, my mother told me, if you could not be a good loser, then there's no way you could be a good winner. If you weren't able to take criticism, then you were not worthy of getting praise. I'll do what my mother taught me, and I'll stand here graciously. I'll take the criticism, take it as a lesson learned, and I hope to God I never see these people ever again.
I love how she ends that speech. Talk about being humble, right? Talk about being graceful in the face of scrutiny. Simple as that. She is in on the joke. She accepted that the movie was a failure. What the hell can you do about it? While the world laughed at her in the script of this film, guess what Halle did? Yeah, laughed all the way to the bank. Do you know how much she got to play Catwoman? Think of a number right now. Think of a number, and I want you to comment it down below. And I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a second. Go ahead, think about it. Like, oh, she got $14 million.
I know that's right.
Even through all of this, Halle still doesn't regret doing the film. She had fun during production, and she appreciates the film's cult following and newfound popularity in later years. A crucial element of the hate train with this feature is its MTV-style editing. The basketball scene alone has 134 cuts. They better have paid the editor of this film extra, because that's crazy. Yes, it's too much, it's dated, it's overstimulating, but again, camp! Like, if you get it, you fucking get it. Part of that aesthetic style, that it takes pride in the exaggeration, leaning into the so bad, it's so good, it's chaotic. But, you know, in the eyes of many, this could also be seen as a strong case study of how over-editing can destroy the geography and the tone of a scene. They filmed this in 2003 though, and I recently did an essay on the 2003 film Honey, which is all about the music video vixen era that the world was in. This was the era of hyperkinetic, music video influenced, flashy aesthetics, the insane CGI, the Dutch angles. Here's the truth. This is not bad. This is just a time capsule, yeah, of the early 2000s. Or I'll even take this. This is what happens when style replaces coherence and substance. Now, the alternate ending of this film, I hate with a burning passion. Had it been the original ending, points would have been docked off. Patience is painting with Sally next to her, who is, as she says herself, being her muse, but we can see other people painting as well. So I guess it's like a community type of thing. Anyway, Tommy enters, and I'm not gonna lie, I see why it was cut. There's a lot of silence and noises of the city in between the minimal dialogue. It's awkward. Midnight sitting there watching everything, and she jumps on Ophelia's shoulder, who's also there. Like, what is she doing here? Patience jumps on Tom's back as he tells her Wesley Kopp to flee, and both murders are officially closed. The dialogue is just a bunch of nothing, but what makes me hate it is that we are constantly circling around them, standing on this walkway. Bro, I am getting vertigo. bro. I don't know. I don't know what the hell this dude was thinking. Pitolf. But yeah, it ends on them kissing and we pan up to this ugly ass building. As far as the visual effects, I think that there are some that have aged horribly and some that I'm not even being, oh my God, it's camp. No, I truly do think that some of these effects hold up. All the shots of patients climbing and jumping during the jewelry heist scene, all that looks phenomenal to me. I'll argue with anybody about that. The music is another thing I'll argue with anybody about. And there are specifically 4 scenes that really stick out when it comes to the soundtrack that I want you to listen to. The basketball scene, the jewelry heist, the introduction of the final cat suit, and the fight with Laurel in the factory. All of those scenes have incredible music. The blending of rock and R&B. No notes. No notes. It's energetic, it's urban, it's modern. Nothing can make me hate it. Hallie's critique of the film during production, she thought was, why can't Catwoman save the world like Batman or superhero? Why would she succumb to stopping some evil face cream that makes your face crack off? I don't hate the beauty cream. Sue me. But the version of the story that we got feels like a first or second draft of the idea. There's a term called cosmic horror, which refers to the fear of the unknown, existential insignificance, cosmic and otherworldly entities. The only time I've talked about it on the channel was during my Cat in the Hat essay. That is cosmic horror. And you know what Catwoman is? Cosmetics horror. Did I lie? It's quite a camp concept. A face cream that makes your skin not only reverse in aging, but makes it like living marble. And if you stop using it, your face disintegrates. Quite a satirical commentary on the predatory nature of the beauty industry, if you ask me. And beauty to women is something that they hold very high. Now, you know, we can blame the patriarchy for that one. The pressures put on women are fucking stupid and ridiculous. That's why I don't want this to come out wrong, but I'm like, I don't think I could be a woman. It's too much. You got to deal with aging, looking beautiful every time you walk out the house, the periods, the makeup, worrying about getting pregnant and going through childbirth. With it, first of all, childbirth, bringing a fucking human in this world, that's a superpower. That is a fucking superpower. And I bring that up every time I get into an argument with somebody who is being extremely misogynist, because like y'all, oh my god, it's like, god damn, is that what it is? Like y'all are intimidated by women. That's what it is. You wouldn't fucking be here if it wasn't for a woman. I don't know, but with all that, what I was saying about women is it's coming from a place of, I think that you guys go through so much that I'm good. I'm good. I love you, but I'm good. Unfortunately, the hate for women with these, I can't even say men around the fucking globe, okay? It's never going away. Beauty is currency in this world, and you know what? It's not only just women. It's absolutely something with gay men. My God, the amount of men in their 40s and 50s that I have met who have gotten triggered from some joke that I have said with my dark ass humor. And it's like, baby, calm down. Calm down, baby doll, calm down. But yeah, to play with this concept of a beauty cream and the whole aging storyline, it's tricky because it feels limiting. I absolutely understand where Hallie is coming from. It's putting, it feels like we're putting this in a box, catering to something that only women would care about. Oh no, our superhero has to stop this large shipment of beauty face cream from hitting the shelves to save the women. You know, straight men are not going to care about that. And that is yet another example of why I say this film is not for them. That's not something that they can relate to. Everything with Laurel being the aging villain, watching this upcoming younger model taking her spot, is reflecting real world Hollywood ageism. We saw the substance in 2004. I need you to understand the vision, okay? I'm about to throw, you know, some things at you and just, it's not all coherent and together, but just hear me out. This should have been body horror. We could have gotten David We could have gotten real Cronenberg with this shit. What if the more you use this cream, the more addicting it becomes? It soaks through your epidermis into your system, striking something in the nerves. And we got to give the women more power than just being, you know, a damn shield. Shield skin. The cream, the substance, is a blessing and a curse. Perhaps alongside the anti-aging and perfect skin, what if it immortalizes you in due time? Laurel could have been building an entire army of marble women, and you know, maybe Catwoman had to fight all of them as she was going through the factory, all up until she gets to Laurel, who was the final boss, who's been using it the longest. Right now, that is a third act right there. That would have been a cool final, come on video game. That could have been a cool final mission in a video game. Word. Which, yes, by the way, if you don't know, there was a video game created the same time that the film came out. They had the budget to do that. You bet your ass I own the game, and oh my god, it is horrible. Everything down to the controls, the wonky camera angles, which you have maybe 15% control of, the voice acting.
The other night, you killed a friend of mine. Why did you do it? Talk now! All I want is evidence. About what? Bialine. It's disease in a jar. My god. I know the truth about Bialine, and I have a problem with you selling poison to millions of women.
What poison?
I was everything they wanted me to be. Then I turned 40, and they threw me away.
Life's a bitch. Doesn't mean you get to be one.
It's so bad. And yeah, there are behind the scenes clips of Hallie in the studio making voices for the character.
Meow.
I'm seeing my girl, right? But I'm not hearing my girl.
If there's one thing I hate about shopping after hours, it's competition.
Oh, that game deserves so much better. The real villain here is the impossible beauty standards. We understand Laurel's motive. She said when she turned 40, the industry tossed her aside. She wants to be forever young.
Forever young?
I like that title.
With all that damn money she probably got after killing George, I don't know why she ain't just run off and, you know, hit up Lisa Von Rumen's castle, track that hoe down. Yeah, you got money. You know, it's all in the circle. Throw back that potion if you were that down bad. By the way, I have a video on Death Becomes Her. Check it out. The Hedare Factory Storage Archive area is a dimly lit, cold, metal-filled industrial space that's a visual timeline of Laurel's vanity. Think about it as a hall of ego, photographs and moments of Laurel's glory days in modeling. It clashes with her current state where she's got to use this toxic cream to maintain her appearance. Catwoman tosses that trick through old pictures of herself, getting the brakes beat off of her, and this only fuels her rage more, especially when that living marble skin starts beginning to crack. It took them 9 days to film that entire sequence, that final fight, and Hallie's stunt double was the 29-year-old Nito Lariosa, who's an expert in martial arts. This guy's done stunts for Jumanji, Avatar, Jungle Book, Indiana Jones, The Crystal Skull, Transformers, X-Men. You know, the catalog is crazy. The martial art style used in the film is called capoeira, an Afro-Brazilian art blending dance, acrobatics, and music, all derived from Brazilian slaves during the 16th through 19th centuries as a disguised form of self-defense. And what makes this 10 times more puss is that my favorite Tekken characters, plural, because it's a boy and a girl, they use this fighting style in the Tekken games.
Yup.
Yeah, y'all know, if you know. Christy Monteiro and Eddie Gordo, stop fucking playing with me.
Did you hurt yourself?
You win.
When I was looking up this martial arts style and looking at clips, I was like, I've seen this before. I will kick some motherfucking ass in some Tekken. Credit card on the table. If you beat me in a whole roundup, I will buy you a fucking MacBook. Stop playing with me. No, let's go. No, for real. I'm ready. Get your controller. As that guy said in that Kendrick song, I got a pack of blacks and a beat CD. Get your freestyles ready. Although I rarely play video games these days, I played it a lot as a kid. More so throwbacks. I wasn't up to date, you know, Call of Duty and all that. But although video games are my expertise, you know, this man got some good finger work.
You freaky frog! You're a freaky frog!
Come on, though. That does sound like a video game final mission. And I'm talking about the factory full of Biolin clones. Like, that would be kind of hard. Y'all not gonna try to play in my face. They want to take over the world, damn it. We follow Catwoman fight her way through this factory with all these clones, you know. And when we get to Laurel, she's the final stage of the cream. Completely hardened, like she's the Thing from Fantastic Four. A walking statue. Instead of this being a cookie-cutter superhero movie, what if it became a tragedy about how the pursuit of perfection destroys the body? Blended fabulously with the early 2000s anxieties, which were the cosmetic surgery boom, Photoshop perfection, the millennium anti-aging obsession. Think American Psycho meets The Fly. Am I just yapping or are y'all feeling me? You know? And you know something else? I think this should have been directed by a woman. I would have loved to see what a woman would have did here. Coralie Fargett is the director of The Substance, and she's a French woman. So the Euros aren't the problem here. This just needed to be directed by a woman. Take away the male gaze, make it rated R, make it gritty, make it body horror, all that. Oh, adding more element to that. During Patience's resurrection, they could have made that creepy. Her spine could have contorted unnaturally. Maybe she can shoot out these nails that split into claws. When she goes full Catwoman mode, her eyes should stay in that slit oval shape. Make it horrifying. Make the cat take over her body. Have Patience not recognize the woman she faces in the mirror. Let's get psychological. The way Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman turned was kind of scary. She was shoved out that window and all those cats were chewing on her fingers, eyes rolling back. The scary strings were playing. Like, what the hell? I thought this was a children's film. They'd actually asked Pfeiffer to do this as a spin-off shortly after Batman Returns, but it was a case of timing and development hell, essentially. Tim Burton wanted a low-budget black and white film inspired by the 1942 film Cat People, whereas screenwriter Daniel Waters wanted a satirical take on the superhero genre. Think The Boys, TV series before its time, involving Catwoman moving to a version of Los Angeles run by corrupt superheroes. Tim Burton turned in a script and, oh look, it was the same day that Batman Forever from 95 premiered. Too little, too late. Warner Bros. Was shifting away from Burton's dark gothic family-friendly tone. By the late 90s, the project was being retooled constantly. Pfeiffer was taking a hiatus and wanted to focus on her family, plus she didn't fancy the new suit design and even said the original was uncomfortable and a bitch to put on.
Life's a bitch, now so am I.
Apparently at one point an executive pushed for Sarah Michelle Gellar to replace Pfeiffer because of her popularity with Buffy. I'm not mad at that, actually. Although it's very hard for me to envision Sarah in any type of superhero film. I love her, by the way. She's horror royalty. Wait. We might be on to something, kids. I'm sitting up in here, sitting in this damn $500 chair, trying to tell you that this is a horror. Well, this could have been a horror film. So you know what? I'm gonna call Sarah. After Halle was casted, production stalled mid-2003 and there were rumors circulating that Warner would scrap the project and instead incorporate Patience Phillips into Batman Begins from 2005. Now, if that rumor turned out to be real, I cannot say I would be upset because I wouldn't. But the reason the film finally fast-tracked for 2004 was largely due to the studio needing a summer tentpole after another project, Batman vs. Superman, fell through. Screenwriter John August, who also pitched a version to Warner where character, Selena Kyle, didn't realize she was Catwoman at night or what she was doing, but they rejected it. Come on, psychological thriller. Maybe I love this picture so much because of what it could have been. Patience is not a traditional superhero. She's not really a villain. Did Catwoman fail because of its stray from the traditional superhero rules before the genre started becoming flexible? If the direction truly was to make this character entail its own thing, why couldn't this have been a horror film? Was there something more going on behind the scenes? I mean, really, both Catwoman and Elektra were used as a reason why studios shouldn't make female-led superhero movies. With something like Daredevil underperforming, they called it just a bad movie. But when Catwoman failed, it was seen as proof that women don't sell. I don't know, man. You know, whoever hired this French filmmaker deserves an ethnic ass whooping. The dude could barely speak English. Halle set up on that Razzie stage. She hardly knew what he was saying half the time. They had a translator on set. This was a crash waiting to happen. And apparently him and his associate or assistant or whoever pitched another idea. I couldn't figure out what the specific idea was, but they pitched some idea. It was the first idea they gave to Warner Bros, but the studio turned it down because they said it was, again, I couldn't figure out what it was, but the studio said that it was too artistic. I've said it time and time again, and I'll keep saying it. I will never stop loving this film in spite of its flat writing, its fast-paced editing, its dumbass detective who can't differentiate handwriting, the lack of world building, the revealing final outfit, which I'm low-key a little upset we didn't even get a scene showing Patience make the suit. That is a staple in superhero films, watching our protagonist, our hero, make the suit, the evolution of the suit. We should have saw her rip that suit up. We should have saw her, you know, Ophelia gave her that cat mask and she molded it for the head. We should have saw like why, we should have been given an explanation why she decided to do that. You know, give me something. One of these days, I will convince the Criterion Collection to add this cunt classic to their catalog. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you know all about how much I desperately need a 4K restoration with a separate disc that shows this film in black and white. Yeah, absolutely. A Criterion 4K black and white edition of Catwoman from 2004.
I'm a genius. I'm a fucking genius. Like,
what are your thoughts on Catwoman from 2004? Do you embrace the camp? Do you hate it? Are you seeing my vision here? You know, drop your take down below, bro. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I would love to have you. It would be my pleasure. Hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. And turn on that bell notification so you don't miss a new video. If you want to see the director's cut version of this video, head over to the Patreon and join the family. We're fully uncensored there, extended commentary, and you also get to see my vids 24 to 48 hours before they hit YouTube. In the meantime, my friends, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit.